in my opinion, we botched the computer went, a few decades ago. In education, that is. We still have computers in classrooms today collecting dust, not being used for our computers. We also botched the internet waves. We didn't use the internet to its full capacity in education. We've used it here and there, different places, different things. I hope we do better with AI, but it's happening at a much faster pace, so we have to get going with that pretty quickly.
We did not do a lot of training for teachers. Teachers said, I know how to use the internet, I Google stuff, and that does not mean you know how to use it for instruction. And that's what we need to train to how to use it for teaching and learning.
In terms of being afraid of using AI, I've heard some of these comments here and there, sort of specific to cultural or different things. Let me some examples. When the calculators came out, we got scared. We're not going to teach math anymore, so you're not allowed to use calculators in the school. I was not allowed to use calculators in school. Guess what? We learned math then, we're still learning math today. Except we no longer are spending 5 minutes to do square roots. Right? Now I could use 5 more minutes to teach you something, and we could use square root. As long as you understand what square root is, do you actually have to show me a way? Like, maybe not. If I could tell AI, say, hey, send an email or a text message to all the parents, tell them what we're studying in classroom today, and then give them an activity to do at home that does not require a parent to be a math teacher. But all we took at the teacher to do is a second. Now we gave extra 5 minutes of teaching for that student that was not there a year ago. We need to know what the apps are good at, how they're used, how to implement them, how to implement them in our schools. But understanding which one is the right one takes a collaborative effort between public and private. How do we share data? How do we interoperate data between different systems? Also, I see a role for universities and researchers. I think I see a big role, understanding how these tools work, where they're effective. So I think that there is something we can do today is create these hubs, local hubs. They have to be local. And when we innovate, we build new technologies and tools. We often have the technology folks building apps for the end users, without the end users being part of the process. I think that human-centered co-design of tools is very essential with AI. Understanding the cultural differences. So if I build a tool in Florida in the US for Florida teachers, I can't bring it here and assume it's going to work the same. And so we have to move forward, and the public has to establish policies and the roads. When we build roads, we build the highways, we plan them, and then we get cars going right, and we put the rules. How fast can you go? There's a stop sign, and that's what it means. We need to do that. We need to do that with our data infrastructure. And that has to be local. I don't think you can do this globally. I don't think it should be globally. We as a human race, we're already in it, and there's no escape. Why? Because we're committed. And it's not up to us individually, none of us collectively in this room to stop it. AI exists and it's here to stay. And it's going to be competitive between companies and countries and people. And we just have to learn how to use it and use it effectively.
Thank you.